Just a story. A story to scare little kids. But
by our host, Chad. Chad is here. Chad is
Yes, it
here.
is.
Our Kita and Kita, our other
Yo,
co-host. Hi, Kita. How
yo,
you
yo,
doing?
yo, good night, folks. Like, just cool, mate, just cool. Just hanging
That
in.
is good. That is good. All right, so
All right,
welcome
I
to.
hearing no song. People saying no audio. People saying no audio.
Oh shoot.
All
Okay, good
right.
night, everybody. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Sorry about that. Thanks for letting us know. We were introducing ourselves, and you can hear in the background hear my daughter singing her favorite intro tune. But this is Up Inside the Podcast. Up Inside There every Thursday night on Instagram at 8 p.m. And you can find us on YouTube as well and the Anchor Podcast. So if you miss tonight, if you miss any Thursday night, you can always follow up and send to your friends, etc.
Right.
So I am your co-host, Janelle, and I'm joined by our host, Chad. Chad is here. Our
Yes, I
Chad is,
am.
yes, he
Whichever
is.
way. Whichever way you want to look at it.
However, is and Kita 246. Good night, my other co-host.
Good night,
How
good
are you?
night, good night, good night, good night. Hope everybody doing well. Good night
See?
again.
Yes.
Yeah, boy. Keeping the man
And
look rough here.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it
need
is it's saying you need the haircuts.
Yeah,
yeah,
look fresh at all, boy.
Everybody.
That's why
yeah.
we got big up the sponsors all know, so you can big them up for the
See,
people. We got
hello.
large off trade that cuts. Barber Studio, we need you, dog. We need you.
Do.
Because
We need some
and
free haircuts.
I trying to send some emails to the Prime Minister to let him know that people got eat the food too, so we can make sure that next next situation we can wanna offer bill. So Trader Cuts Barber Studio, big up yourself anywhere you're there. As we said, we need you more than ever before. Large off Gallery Media Production, who it is as to you every single week. Look at all the pretty graphics and things there so that I can see from the screen all of the animations and everything, the little, nice little intros and things coming in. So anytime at all you need any sort of media production, head on over to Allery Media Production. So now next thing we got Journey of a Bell. Journey C Bell. Ladies, wanna know when it's be complaining that when I got one of little bloaty situations, when a little menstrual cycle problems, don't make me say little cause then next thing everybody from my case now I gotta tap my finger out to the wall stuff. So big up the ladies anywhere that I miss. Large off, barely sober entertainment. We hoping that everything normalized so that we could get something going on for the summer because we all need it. And then last but not least, we got a big up M.E first. Me first, mobile massage therapy. So Janelle, continue with the intro. Let the people know what's going on tonight, man.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for bringing up the sponsors. Tonight we are quoting a very famous line that we don't even talk about much from the national anthem called Firm Craftsmen of Our Faith. Firm
That's an
Craftsmen of Our
interesting
Faith.
topic, man.
Yes,
Interesting topic.
let's see what it's all about. Because like honestly I was saying the anthem and there's some things that would stand out for me, etc. But that one certainly never really was one that I looked to research or do anything like what was really going on.
I actually
Um,
feel as though I ain't seen the anthem in a long, boy. I feel as though
that's
this is a long time I've not seen the national anthem. I can't remember the last time we seen national anthem. But before we go further, let me big up Irvin Burgee every time. The author
Yeah, man.
Not a bigger Urban
yes,
Birdie is a well written song, and that last line we probably overlook it or probably don't take much to it, but it's very very important, and we can talk about it tonight. So
yes,
go right
Right.
ahead.
yes. Thank you very much. So yes, as you said, let me look at those lyrics. I don't think that many people really think about what it would stand for. There's certain things that would stand out for us, etc. But when I say, you know what, let me break this down. What he really was trying to say here about this craftsman and fit, I was like, all right, yeah, I heard this for all the time. I know you will use it, but like how we can bring this into what's going on today. And
Mm-hmm.
it really stood out for me that like when I say all right, firm craftsman of our faith, I start to tell myself we just dig we own hole. That was what came to my mind. So for you,
Mm-hmm.
Chad, what came to your mind for this particular topic before we break it down even more?
Well, for me, Firm Craftsmen of our faith just the same thing that you were mentioning. It feels like we were heading on a particular path, a particular trajectory, and we did nothing to avoid the crash or the burn, because I constantly state, and I have stated for many a year, that Barbados politics, business, everything is more reactive than proactive.
Mm-hmm.
So, firm craftsmen of our faith currently, I feel like we talking obviously about the decisions that were made among this pandemic, but otherwise, if we want to go even a little deeper, you could look at something like a monopoly. You know, there are
Mm-hmm.
certain businesses in Barbados that are still operating as monopolies, and I remember being a youngster, and it was so. I'm a full blown adult, and it is still so.
Still
So
so.
that's obviously telling us that we, the people, and the government that we select to claim whether it's one or the other, we still on that path of being firm craftsmen of our own faith, because we're not allowing or are really expecting diversification, allowing people to have more opportunities, more choices, where things like corruption will be lesser, things like the ability to stronghold people,
Mm-hmm.
um, up prices as they like, all sort of things. You know, that's what came to my mind among other things. But those were just two that I wanted to make a quick note of, since that you had asked me the question.
Yes, please. All right. Well, Peter answers. I want us to also when you hear when you say that line, like what resonates with you, and then when you bring into today, what's going on with you guys. So put it
Well,
in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. So Peter, what about you?
again, I'm more the same direction as Chad. I'm more so down the line of independency and interdependency.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Also, but my main
True,
thing
that's a
is,
big word.
yeah, but my main thing is really, you make your bed and you lay in it. So it's really taking ownership and of things that we could have done better or
Mm-hmm.
could have changed, as opposed to what hasn't been changed. There's so much that we like to sit down and let's say talk in reflection of something that we could have changed and we haven't changed. So and we got to accept the consequences of what we've done. So yeah, it's along the same direction, or I've done the same sort of rationale like what Chad would have just explained, because he has
Mm-hmm.
made it. Yeah, exactly what it get through my mind. So
What you're
Right.
thinking.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was basically it.
Okay, cool. I like that phrase you used. We're talking about taking ownership. That one particularly stood out for me because when you look at craftsman is some type of mastering or a skill or something like that, doing something, right? But then when it comes to fit, no, that is no whatever our destiny is, whatever is the
Uh-huh.
inevitable, right?
Right.
And the thing is, well, what the inevitable can be, you can have adverse outcomes or you can have
Yeah.
positive outcomes. So let's go a
Mm.
little deeper here now about this whole taking ownership of what's happening. What is that we gotta take? Well, are we need to take ownership of right now? Like what stands out for me in terms of if you look at the same COVID and how that has been handled from the beginning. It seemed as though we had a tight hold, we knew what was going on, and we could see where we were going, how life would have been projected, and then December came and nothing came in between November and December, whole set of other people came into the island, and now in January, February, and now we are in March, back in the same position we were in last March when we were trying to flatten the curve, or when we started to, use those terms in March. So when you talk about taking ownership, for me, it's like, no, and where did the ball drop? What going on here? What you think? And then from where the ball dropped to where we can be, where are we gonna be going from here now? Is
Mm.
it just gonna let the ball drop and nobody can take any ownership for though we messed up somewhere along the line and we all need to come together and fix it. So what y'all think about that?
Yeah, right now I feel as though we lose Craftsman though. We ain't firm Craftsman. We lose Craftsman. I mean, we live in a country where people like to say, well, it's so, and that's ain't go wrong though, but you like to take accountability for what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Blame is get point at other people who can exactly put the hand back, point your fingers back in that way. And even from we start back a podcast in January, really talking about the whole bus crawl and the whole thing that happened since we were back on lockdown and who was getting blamed, who was being made a scapegoat, and like it's all feels though it's like somebody gotta take the fall, even though people can basically see where who is to blame. Somebody gotta take the fall for it, and even though somebody may not say, "Well, that person do beer shit," yeah, nah, somebody else gotta take the fall for it, and that like kind of sums up like where we are as a nation. Like, yeah, it's real easy to say, we are this type of people and we can do this and we can do that, but there's no accountability for when somebody makes a mistake. We try to mention on the podcast the 2 seasons ago, people carrying money from certain departments in government, all-star team, nobody ain't getting charged. Certain ministers doing this and they're doing that, and nobody ain't getting charged, and they're not accountability. So I mean, who are we? Who are we as a nation? That's what we're trying to figure out.
All right, let me hop in here so quick. You see that part? There got 2 things I want to take away from each one. Janelle said, you brought down the definition of what's a craftsman or craftsman.
Right.
Peter also mentioned accountability. The fact of the matter is that for many years, we have said decades, because we didn't alive that long to be that deep into it. But for a few decades that we would have gained some knowledge, gained some common sense, be able to recognize the surroundings and everything, we have been firm craftsmen of a lot of shit. In terms of the fact, we don't change the ways that we look at stuff. We don't change the tactics in which we address them. We are afraid of calling a spade a spade. But when it comes to the average Joe, they can be called out, they can be ostracized, they can be brought issues against. But when it's other people, accountability does not occur for those who are in a certain bracket. Because my thing is, if you feel safe to come forward and say, well, we this bus crawl and this and the next and the third, but we then turned around and learned that the bus crawl situation was not as adverse as we thought that it was. But then nobody came back and said, you know what? I take accountability for speaking on the bus crawl and making it seem as if those individuals were so wrong and so out there and so wild that we made the nation feel like they are the animals that we painted them to be. Even before you go down the line of pointing the finger at who it was that was the individual or the situations that took place, just the fact that you came forward and you took accountability for your words and the line that they would have carried the mindset of people and driven the thought process of the communities, that in itself goes to show, you know what? I could trust this person because they are actually owning their own words. They are owning the responsibility of making a mistake and, they're trying to correct it. And I think that is what is vastly missing from everything, because I have noticed as well, whenever it comes to accountability yet again, everybody is looking for that loophole or that back door to be able to say, well, we've never gone through a situation like this before. So you can only try things, and then if it don't work out, you adjust and whatever. But the fact of the matter is that this is trial number. I ain't keeping count. I ain't keeping count. So my thing is that we trying certain things, they aren't working. What's the next move? What's the next thing we're gonna try? So we need to have outside of the box thinkers. We need to have people who take accountability, and we need to have people who are not afraid to call spades spades. Because that's the only way that we're gonna become firm craftsmen of a proper faith.
Yes.
Rather than this loose thing that we got going on right now. So I don't want to feel about that, yeah.
I actually want, because I was going to say that, and then I can throw it back at Keto, that based on what you're saying and how things have been progressing in this country for time and a memorial that we are very reactive. Okay, everything is reactive, and you will only go as so far to make sure that you keep everybody in this box or whatever. And the same you just said, I know you need out of the box thinkers, etc. And persons who will not just think outside the box, but also carry the country in that vein to say, hey, we can achieve, we can do, and you don't have to wait until something has happened to react to it. Because if you look in the chat, Carlos Johnson was saying that the virus was out all the time, and it's only then when the tourists came in. I'm not here or there on that. I really don't think that. I think that the gravity of how things would have escalated came from the ball being dropped, and then us reacting to that rather than saying, okay, let us stop and reset. And that is where you have to go on. We are just allowing whatever fate to come. That's how I feel. So what do you think about that and what Chad said, Keita?
So I agree a lot with what Chad said. And the honest to God opinion for me is that because it's like that, it feels as though we in this consistent loop that it's going to continuously happen over and over because people do it and get away with it. People eat certain things for certain people and get away with it, and it's going to continuously happen because once we're in a situation where things like this can happen and it's okay and there's no accountability, it will continue. And it will continue because we, the outsiders, or people not in authority, have no, let's say to make something happen because it's people who are in authority that are doing it. So it's going to continuously happen over and over. So, but what can we do? What can we do as a society to break that loop, to put things over the sink? Like something has to give. No, I know like we have like a lot of people, like I would say, on the street that just talk and murmur these little things and say, I can't believe them would do that there, and they can just shut up and they can take it and they can walk along and keep them mouth shut. But what can we do? That is the thing. I don't know who y'all feel. What can we do?
Well, you see, all right. Well, here's here asking about something that I actually wanted to bring up a little later in the conversation.
Right.
He asked me, how do I feel about persons getting remanded and stuff for breaching curfew? Now, as far as I'm concerned, I am a law-abiding citizen. So, looking at it from a law-abiding citizen point of view, if we are told XYZ is the curfew time, I expect that you will do what you need to do in order to be on the correct side of the law. Now, there was a video that I saw where a guy was, I guess, racing through some very small. I can't make out where what parish or location that was, with a police jeep running up behind you. No,
yeah, it looks like my
they really got there about that. Okay, well, one of them places. But this is my thing. Let common sense ring here right now. You get caught contravening the law. You decided, let me take it upon myself to try to get away from the police. You basically taking a situation that is already just minor to a very hefty, serious situation, because you could damage property, you could hit somebody place, you can mash up yourself, the police could turn over, and them is heavier charges that gonna come on you already contravention of the law. In that regard, I always say that the punishment should fit the crime. But if it is that, let me say for me, for example, now, as I said, I'm a law-abiding citizen and I walk outside the church where my garbage called the truck can out tomorrow, and that's considered a contravention. I don't feel like I should be remanded. I feel like that's a vast overstatement of what the powers at be should be doing. Like you could hit me with a warning or something.
Yeah.
But be talking about weighing the pros and cons. So in regard to what Earzy is asking, I could get where he's coming from, and obviously me, I don't want to know that nobody getting remanded for breaking protocols, but it depends on what situation or what way of situation is happening. So like that chasing foolishness, you take what you get, Skipper. But somebody that was just outside walking down the gap to maybe get home and they know the wrong or whatever, and the police catch them, man, let him out go on home and get off the road. Because like any day, the law is for what? The law is to get multiple people off of the road so we don't have contact. But if it's one person, who he contacted with? No one. So if he's in his district, let the man go on home. Simple. So you could tell me how you feel, but I want to know too.
Well, I think that's I don't know if that is probably why he was. I think he was just charged like $1,300 or something like that. So I think that that could possibly be the reason why that was all he was charged, and he was allowed to go on or whatever and just pay the fine because he was in his district. But then there are other charges, little things like his license expiring and stuff like that. If the police they catch me on a regular day and my license expire, it would have gone to make sure I walk with even more money to go on to when I go to court. So I think that's where people would have said, well, this is a discrepancy. And then what Erzidem would have mentioned just now in comparing it to the guy who had been charged in the murder of the BDF, the other BDF soldier, and him being released on bail. I said, I don't know the law. I don't know what is said in the court. We can only start from the outside and assume or whatever. So a lot of people will assume, well, he get bail, how he could get bail for killing a man, but you don't know what actually went on or whatever before that. So I guess that he's saying, like on one hand in curfew, they got me here so grabbed up tight, and then somebody else getting bail and
for murder. A murder, and it's hurtful to know that they got two different levels of what they will consider crime or disobeying the law, and those are the two different outcomes of the two different quote unquote crimes. But the thing is, because I don't know a lot of information about the whole day that with the murder situation, but I just heard based on what I've heard, it doesn't sound as though that the bill, although his bill is fitting for a crime of what he committed of that magnitude. Not only is it a law official, is a defense force, like Army associated official that was killed. And, usually when a police or a soldier is killed, you don't ever really hear somebody getting bail in those sort of situations. So it's really weird. So I don't know if I don't know if he just really got a really good lawyer, or if you got a lot of money to put up for bill, or what the bill was set out. But it's awkward to know that people out there getting charged for breaking curfew for amounts of that much. It just feels as though COVID or COVID-related incidents take precedent over anything that happened in the country right now. It feels as though COVID is really the number one person that popping up behind you in the alley with a gun to your back or anywhere. That's what COVID is. COVID is not even really it's more of a person or even a man. COVID is a lot more than what people perceive COVID as. But that's how we introduced to COVID.
Okay.
COVID like a LLC.
Yeah, it is an LLC. It is limited and it is a liability. And right now it's like a company.
Yeah, in terms of the situation with the BDF saga, because that's a saga, I think there's a lot more to it than what we're seeing.
Always.
And I can't say anything to it because one, as I say, I ain't there, I ain't hear what would have been presented in court, but it's a lot deeper than just somebody getting just getting bail or whatever. And then something else you were saying in terms of the COVID, what's happening now with all these COVID directives and the breaches and stuff like that. Another situation that happened the other day is the coconut vendor that in the headline of it was the coconut vendor is charged for going maskless, which is saying if you out in public without your mask and nobody is around you, what's this story about you being charged? Because it just seems as though you get charged, as a friend once said, for breathing. But then in the article, then there was talk about him breaching. He was doing something, I can't remember exactly what. But it just seems now with COVID, all of these court cases just seem fishy. It's like nothing don't seem weighted. You know, it just seems like if one day you wake up and you charging somebody who random money, and the next day, you know, nothing. Look at the guy, the Jamaican man. He the Court of Appeals, and he got off because whatever was presented here got thrown out. So it's just seems so like if COVID is a real stinking heifer, though, that's our story.
Well, I think that COVID is actually getting a bad rep because I think the people are taking advantage of a bad situation. For example, the government is cash strapped at this point, so the fact that they're coming up with charges and very strange ways to get people to be in court, holding fines and that sort of stuff, does not. It don't take a rocket scientist or political scientist to figure that out. Right now, everything is anything. You know what I'm saying? So we just get one wherever we could get one. It's that simple. And in regard to like
I don't think it might just be that simple. I just think that people are more sensitive or extremely or super sensitive when it comes to anything with the word COVID-19 attached to it. And COVID feels as though it's more than just a disease. It is really a mentality and a way to use like a, I don't want to say it's a trick to the system, but it's like basically like that rule that you could break, like COVID, you could add COVID to anything and make it an issue.
right.
So you could break protocol that's a COVID related issue.
You mean like the word toxic? Like you just put toxic in front of something, and then all of a sudden it becomes a thing.
Toxic. Yeah, so in 2020 the word toxic increased popularity times 100,000 because like COVID is the new word toxic. Everything is COVID.
It's true. It's true. Everybody saying it's just here to drive fear and stuff like that. Yeah. Like we carry it to a different level. But I want to get back to
that. I ain't saying that COVID ain't real and ain't out there, but at the same time, everything that happens is not necessarily COVID related, and COVID is not used as a scare factor or a determinant factor to judge or to put forward a case to the court. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but like here, ICOM movement is saying it's a flu, and that's one of the things that I noted down when I was looking at this whole thing. The fact that when it comes to this COVID thing, our health here is what needs to be looked at. But how they are putting it is that we need to do all these things to prevent COVID, but we're not getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. Is that if we were practicing better eating habits, if we were eating more healthy, if we were taking better care of ourselves, which would lead to us not having NCDs, because COVID is complicated because people have these non-communicable diseases. So if you don't have these non-communicable diseases, this flu can be okay. Like, I mean, you get the flu, you get over it. But because so many of us are sick because of how we eat, what we do, and the government, and I'm not saying that they are solely responsible for putting that information out there, but I just feel as though it's like you're driving one thing in these directives, but you're not pushing what is necessary. That's changing our lifestyles.
Let me say something here, and this can probably echo the sentiment that you speaking on, Reginald. But we got somebody here at Cloud9 Nail Studio saying she used the word, or well, I assuming it's a lady. She used the word "it's amplified," and I want to speak on that. The fact of the matter is, right, is that this topic, as Keita was saying, that COVID in front of anything or amongst everything becomes something. Yeah. The fact of the matter is this: when you put a word into a conversation continuously, it begins to have a body of its own. It begins to have a life of its own. So let me speak quickly on the vaccine situation. Now we know that there are three of us in here right now: you, Keita, and myself. You may decide to get the vaccine for whatever reason. That's cool. But for some reason, it is being, the onus is being turned on persons who choose not to get the vaccine as part of the problem as opposed to the solution. And that is where I get a problem, because I pretty much liken it to when people were pushing an agenda for persons who choose to not see themselves as either male or
Or
female.
female. Yeah.
This is my thing. You can choose to do and be whatever you want to choose to do and be. But from the time that you start to infringe on the people's rights who choose to have a separate opinion from you,
Yeah.
as maybe you can become become bad friends. This is my thing. My mother is an essential worker, frontline worker. She does not have any pre-existing conditions. However, before COVID, she still would have been in contact directly with viruses, illnesses, diseases, whatever.
Right.
So I want her to be safe.
Right.
If a vaccine is created to make her safer whilst working with these possibly ill people, I want her to be safe. Mommy, go and get the vaccine. Now look at me. I don't get involved with frontline situations. I have been one of the people affected by the stay-at-home protocol, so I don't have to go anywhere other than to supermarkets, pharmacies, whatever. And when I do so, I am protected via the mask situation. Why would I need to go and take a vaccine when it is that I don't have a pre-existing condition? I don't have any elderly people around me to stay at. Well, I could go there and get it, and then I could bring home to my grandmother that got hypertension, diabetes, whatever. The fact of the matter is this, and I could say this plainly. We know that this is a complicated flu situation that attacks the respiratory system. Or it is basic like HIV and AIDS. HIV becomes full-blown AIDS when your white cell count goes beneath a certain amount. But HIV or AIDS does not kill the host. All it does is break down your immune system to the point that a little cold or a little flu could come and kill you.
Right.
So COVID is basically nothing more than a variation of what we will call HIV or AIDS then, because it is basically going in, it is weakening you, and then something that already existed finishing you off.
Exactly.
So I don't understand why, other than the fact that there has to be something larger that is causing all of this separations and distinctions and people getting divisive, and all of a sudden now like people don't want to be around one another. There has to be something bigger at play. This is not going to be the first and the last time that the human race is suffering by some shit or the other. So what is the bigger picture here? That's why I keep asking, what is the bigger picture here?
Well, we're not the ones to answer. You don't like the terms propaganda and agendas, so I'm not gonna.
So let me. He said something. He said, "Bro, there was a girl that is 14 that was in a coma at Harrison's Point." What we also need to understand is that there will always be exceptions to the rules.
Yes.
There will always be somebody that would be a case that is outside of the norm. So yes, we did hear about how old the youngster was 9 or something. The child was 9. One that passed away was 9 years old.
Yes.
How many children are? Let me compare that one. That we obviously respecting the dead because we don't want to make it a situation like we ain't care if the body passed away. Look at how many persons within that age range have died compared to how many have lived or never even contracted the virus. So there will always be exceptions to it. We cannot allow the exception. So we can't let one statistics, if it is that we people that were offered a stat being majority versus minority, we know that the minority can't outweigh the majority. So how could one death all of a sudden deteriorate what I am saying that makes absolute sense? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get it that there will be people that will not have or produce pre-existing conditions but may succumb to the illness. A man that gets shot in his head and he is alive with a bullet in his brain. But we know under normal circumstances, a bullet to the brain automatically means death. So let me line up how many people have died from gunshot wounds to the head versus those who have survived, and then you tell me how we could make an argument based off of the fact that
They got to test all that for COVID though.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what Keisha's here saying that look at how many died from dengue and chikungunya. And it's the same thing when it comes to the COVID. And that's why I'm saying that we have this here so skewed and so twisted, right? That our fate can be a positive outcome if we were to change the narrative. And I think that I feel as though there are other things much bigger in play that people are using. And that's if you change the narrative and you push certain things, then what happened Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today would not have happened, because when you would have opened the fast food industries or whatever, you wouldn't have had people to put that message saying that they were completely sold out, because Beijing to say to themselves, you know what, but I really and truly don't need all that free food and things, because I need to take care of myself so that I will be healthier if anything happens to me.
Everyone wants to start with that in fast food. Right
But
now,
we gotta talk about that.
They just got me so vexed with this shit. And like, truthfully, I ain't really want to get so aggressive, but stop sending me these things. If you're sending me a small business, start sending me these things. I don't need to know. I see the same information as what I see on Instagram feeds on Thursday. Send me somebody small business though. I don't need to see these big retailers or these big fast food restaurants flyers in every group chat or every special to go.
I don't need it.
Pay you for marketing. Everybody just feel like I gotta be the one to put it up.
Just about 5 minutes later for you. The door open 5 minutes later for you. The door bend or twist here and there for you to make your order. Just follow the same principle for every customer.
For everybody.
Little small businessman, bending corners the met. The same happen for you. You don't want posty business. You don't want posty flyer. You don't want steer or say, well, man, word of mouth, man. You hear my man here got this little thing going on. He's selling burgers and chips on a Friday. You can show a little support. Nah. Everybody wants to support this particular restaurant, this particular restaurant, or share the flyer, or whatever special the got. Nah, we gotta do better as a society, though.
Nah, we
but
do.
You see, Firm Craftsmen of our faith, brother. Firm Craftsmen of our faith.
Exactly, but my thing is, right? Listen. Don't get me wrong. These industries support a lot of persons. People are employed by them or whatever. But as one of my children told me, she was like, look, if any of them, the industry, the people who own the businesses, or the people in Barbados, if anybody say that they ain't got the money, they lie. They lie. Because the amount of money that people spend between Monday and today in fast food is ridiculous. And I understand that. But and the money that was spent does not equate to the salaries the wages that are paid to the workers. So when people talk about, but they're employing all these wages or whatever, but they're employing them and paying them rough though. So what you saying? We need to change the narrative. We need to.
I don't have a problem with people going to these restaurants. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's in that to spend the money where they want to spend the money. But at any day, if you got the audacity to support this particular person and for the flyer and for this, and you can't do this here for you, brother man. You can't do this here for your roommate, your classmate. You can't do this here for your friend or a friend of a friend. Or you bet somewhere and eat food from a small man. It tastes good. You get flyers from the man. You say we'll go back and support. You can't share the flyer because they will text saying off you. But ain't a text saying off you to share these specials from these fast food restaurants. Nah, I ain't working with it.
Not good enough. No, it's not.
Yeah,
I know what just said. I like Jilly. The particular restaurant that deduct chicken from the wages of workers on the week if it's short. Like you don't even know the extent to what's been going on in these workplaces, right?
But Janelle.
Yes.
They employ Bajans.
Yeah, exactly. They employ Bajans. And we sucking it up.
Yet again, we are the firm craftsmen of our own fate because we allow a lot of frivolous excuses to make the reason why we continue to see these things occurring. Because for the life of me, we have seen when businesses closed, we have to do without. But for some reason, again, like if they cannot continue to do without, this is my issue, and that's why every day, if anybody they send me a flyer of their own, or if they send I want support, I just be a part of that. because
Yep.
I just cannot understand. Like the when I was out the every day this week. I had a lot of things I want to get done because remember I told when I want to get started on learning about the gardening and stuff. So I did gang some half cans together and some soil and my cousin they teaching me certain things. So I was out on the road making moves and learning about this and that. But let me tell you something, right? When I saw the line in Warren's for the Chefette, I couldn't believe it. And that was on Monday. I was like, first of all of them can't be working. So how why you went up on the road and here it can't it just ain't making sense to me. But then when I
Especially
saw
on
everybody,
international day to a Sunday food.
you
What?
understand?
Exactly,
International day
exactly.
to a
The
Sunday
You
food.
wanna
latest
know
day
maybe
that
laugh?
our fast food
You wanna
places
make me
be,
laugh?
the latest day is Monday, but
The
not
man
Monday
made me laugh
morning.
with you. The man no catch me there but you like the international day after
Day two.
Sunday food. Day
Yes,
two of Sunday
day
food.
two, day
You
two
saw
food.
right, but listen, what's killing me is so pro people that seem to be like that particular weekend when well that would have been Thursday when we to get the update that certain businesses reopening. You see that
Yeah.
Friday, oh man, I wake up to everybody put my status with that purple and yellow, purple and yellow, purple and yellow, purple and yellow.
Let
I
me
said
tell
to
you,
me, wait a
brother.
minute, you trying to tell me that everybody just want feel like if there's the first body and then the next thing before the day is done, you know what to see? I saw that the people had to send out a publication letting people know that the response was so overwhelming for island wide delivery. We done for today will be Jesus Christ. If I can't get one to recognize that we gotta come together as people and check for resale card, then seeing people that writing the checks, they doing the drive-throughs and saying, yeah, let me make sure we feed Barbados called Barbados and make sure we good. If we're not contented
I know.
to support these people, if when I continue to support these people, continue to do it. I will not be a part of it. I can stand on my little soapbox and I can watch when it burn in that greasy fat. That one I
But you
know.
like know because just like what the government does, I'm not. Let me not say that they do, but they did make yesterday or today. They did make a donation to the Red Cross, so people just know people know how to strategize. And it's the same with the government. You say, you know what? All right, people get around uneasy and the complaining and saying, let me throw them a scrap, let me throw them something to keep them quiet, right? And exactly, because the thing is that when these people make donations, it's get back in tax. Anyway, so we send him the government. Let me get Beijing. So Beijing's real unhappy, the
So a lot
disgruntled.
of business, a lot of
Let me
business
get them
don't know that.
something that. Let me get them
So
something that.
like, business don't know that, so they can think, oh, the contributing to the Red Cross, the donating to charity. Oh, not knowing
And they
that
get
this
back
the
that
body
money
is
when
write
they
off
make
all these people in
donations.
taxes.
Exactly,
All
exactly.
these people will
So
get write off in taxes. But that's my
we clouded, We honestly, that's my thing, and that's why I start off by saying we just dig we own home. We just dig we own home, We the same one, same. We be looking and saying, oh, the government this, the government that. I be stuck on and continue to dig whatever hole it is, and well, whoever at the top, and we don't in the hole like crabs. Before we turn into the donkey and shake the dirt off of me and climb over it. No, we don't there. We trying to pull down each other in that same hole that we digging for ourselves. And that's why I can't stand, I cannot. So when anybody who wanna ask me, I let these little people in here so no straight. Do not ask me for no fast food. Do not do it. Every day I ain't here so I tell you, yes, I am tired of cooking. I just got cook. I just got cook. No problem. All right, they got eat. And I tired of it. I don't want something different or whatever. I am not encouraging the BS that we just be going here so doing. I ain't encouraging the government in it, and I'm not encouraging any of these conglomerates in it either. I'm not.
You know what you're doing. 2021 is the year that I calling everybody name except people that look like me. I ain't gonna call police just not telling listen, I have me here so I think and these white people getting all right around here and they fear my life and I will live in the same police here, please. I ain't making no sport with nobody no more. I calling everybody name that don't look like me. If it is that I can't get people to recognize that we gonna get sick, I can be the boy to get sick. That's what it really and truly coming down to when I start making the train movies, when people won't hold on on it and start coming forward, man. But I honestly got tired of this revolving conversation, this loop conversation about people recognizing what is important. We need to stop making frivolous and silly excuses as the way we continue to perpetuate the silliness, the childishness, the idiocy, all of these things. We just always be fast with an excuse for everything. You understand? We just be fast with it. And I just sick and tired of it. Like, and as a man that I have always seen myself to be a solution oriented person. So when I talk and I recognize that I can't get through to the person or persons that I trying to talk to, the next move is to stop talking and go to another group of people to see if maybe I could get through to them. So I done with that.
I haven't going. You got I put out and come out. Like Carter said, so saying that being fairness and employ a lot of people and people are happy to get back out to work. But my thing is that if we know the crux of the market is that this is a very unhealthy nation, people just put back out something that Harry Beckles had spoken about in terms of how unhealthy we are. So if we are, why can't these fast food restaurants actually offer better meals for persons? So in the same specials that they have, if they don't do that. If they offer, I said not to yeah, that's really more. Yes, if we were offering salads with all these things, they start. So you open at 10, you have breakfast program, you have a breakfast menu now, and you can have salad with everything as well. That's where I'm coming from. What are we doing as a people to be healthier? Stop ringing. Yeah, so you say, all right, yeah, they employ a lot of people, but we still got to do better for ourselves. Don't wait for the government to tell you all, hey, eat better. Start doing it for yourselves. And no, it's not easy as they say. Oh, please excuse me, people.
But that's exactly what we're for. That's exactly what we're in for Craftsmen work it. Because we ain't know to do better for ourselves. We gonna depend on about the way say beginning. Are we independent or are we interdependent? We gonna wait for somebody to tell we can do this. Like we gonna wait for somebody to say when they get real fire. But how you tell me that I fire? I wait for months now say you I fire. We gonna wait for somebody to tell me that we unhealthy for me to know that we unhealthy. We gonna wait till then the government come and tell me again, no, yeah, we unhealthy. The nation go back to use to planting kitchen garden and using your fruits at home and eating vegetables and fruits. Really? Sorry, I didn't want to say this is who we are because they carry here. This is who we are. Really?
Mm.
Nah. What I really feel though is that we could do a lot better as a nation as it pertains to eating and fast food and this and the whole sector of healthiness. Even like the whole last year or the year before, we had no sugar in November, and people were saying how strenuous it was to not have sugar for a whole November. And I mean, like, yeah, but you could cut down the amount of sugar you use throughout the year too. You don't have to just wait till November.
You have to wait on that. Yes.
You're gonna wait till late to give up something though. You give us a outside the late though. I was like,
I
really?
never know.
I honestly know. Why we keep doing that? Why we keep waiting for somebody to tell us, hey.
I give up late for late this year. I can tell you that. I give up.
You must even know when it started.
I hear like 3 years ago.
I don't remember no name on that. So
I give up late for late. That was what I give up for late. I give up late for late.
Guys, it's almost 9 o'clock already. No, imagine that.
My time is gone, boy. But when I remember last year,
my own favorite pasta.
But let me tell you something though. You remember last year when I was telling people, cause you know we did get the opportunity to operate under a normal situation. That was when around October or
between July and July.
All right, we're good. And you know, people they get the opportunity to get back out to work and get wrong things right. I want to remember I told people specifically, if you are one of those people that were not consistently working through the entire year because you were not frontline, you were not essential or so on, you needed to take consideration to the fact that under normal circumstances, January is a rough time for people. January, February. I told people, I know when I want to enjoy when Christmas, I know when I want to have some fun, when I want to let loose. But don't forget that this year was an unprecedented year, which would have been 2020. And we don't know how 2021 going to turn. and look how it happened. Have I hope well not obviously because some people really didn't take heed to anything like that because there was still a lot of crying out, there was still a lot of anguish and that sort of thing. I really don't know what it's going to take to convince an entire majority of people who are content to live in the manner in which they live to this day. You understand? Because if we want to be truly firm craftsmen of our own fate, we gotta be willing to do the things that are not popular. We gotta be willing to say the things that are not easy to say. We gotta be willing to be accountable for we one another, and we gotta be ready and willing to defend we brother when it's time to defend we brother or we sister. You understand? So I feel that's why you left the people waiting like
All right, Keith again challenge his son now to give it his fidelity type his favorite meal.
I can give up vanilla things for a month, not a problem. But ain't giving up vanilla things that issue is giving up all healthy things in general. So I might be giving up healthy things, but I might still be eating Zoomers. You know what I mean? Like it's healthy things regular. But in life, back to square one, everything is moderation. Everything is in moderation.
Yeah.
So it's saying that you can eat everything unhealthy every single day, or you can eat something healthy every single day either. It's all about moderation.
Definitely no.
But you shouldn't have to wait for somebody to tell you that this unhealthy, you need to give it up. Come on, we know right from wrong, we know good from bad, we know when something feel right, you know when your body don't feel right, or you know when you know when you feel guilty eating something that they shouldn't be eating.
And I can tell you, like I struggle as I say in the life all the time. I have struggled with my weight for all of my adult life for different reasons. But there's some things about ourselves and that's why I wanted to talk about. And then we shorted the time, but looking really at zero in on our fate, as in what we determine for ourselves when it comes to our mental health and our spirituality. All right. If because it's hard to motivate yourself. It's hard. You need other people to help you sometimes or whatever. And then the things will happen in your life, like somebody passed away from a non-communicable disease, and that will be a wake-up call. And so I'm not saying that it is easy. I'm not saying that that it can just be a clear cut. Give it the sugar, start eating crap, stop buying the Shafra and KFC, etc. It's not so easy. However, though, we do owe it to ourselves and to the generations that are coming, to our children, to do better. We do owe it to ourselves to do better. So when we are looking at what the government putting in place or not, what are you putting in place for yourself? What are you doing? What are we doing to help ourselves and our families? The people tell you about you and that fake big man. What was his story?
He the type of the Ramali, didn't
people tell he earned,
I was sending a message to Ramal because I was hearing some feedback and things.
Yeah, I realize. But yeah, no, we can do better. It takes a step. One step is going without the fast food till the end of the month. Something. Hello. Training yourself. Like every time a child tell you, oh, I want this, and you don't have to give them. You don't have to give them. So a lot of times that we really getting, we are creating, as I said already, we are creating that negative side of our faith. We are creating that, what I said earlier, the adverse outcome. It's not just the government, it's not the conglomerates, we ourselves are doing it. But anyways, as I said, we were short-handing time. Instagram gave us the whole post of time now, but it's still our show. So we want to go down to our final words. Anything you want to say, Chad, to wrap up?
I done wrap up because I vex with these people, man. I people in here because I love when the suits we do things.
So people
I just want people to do some more thinking, man. I want people to be more strategic in how they're looking at everything. I want people to be more aware of their surroundings, aware of their own selves, be more honest with yourself. And when you start to become honest with yourself, you'll find that that is become a little more difficult to be because when you express that honesty, it can shake up people because people ain't accustomed to honesty. We are accustomed to half truths.
Mm-hmm.
So when you could say, I stay here, I stand right here, and they're not moving, they're not shaking, I ain't talking about, oh, well, you know, I don't mean everybody. Nah, I saying what you gotta say, and that's the beginning and that's the end. Whoever want to take it as an offense, that's your business. If you want to have an open dialogue with me, we can do that. But for the time that you believe that you going off on this tangent that, oh, what y'all said, don't take the vaccine because of this, so he's part of the problem. If that's the stance you want that, you can take that. All you gotta do is if you want to fight me, I can tell you where to find me. So as far as I'm concerned, I just want people to be more aware of themselves. I want people to think some more. I want people to recognize what is right for them and what they may willing to compromise. Let me just keep working for now. That's just it. That's all I
All
can
right.
say.
Here's my 2 cents. Here's my 2 cents worth. I want people to keep the same energy. So the same energy that when I have for the fast food people that will come back this week, when my nail techs and my barbers and my other people, my hairdressers, all them they open back, I want to keep that same energy though. I want to spend money there too. I want to book one of the appointments and I got that book and send one of the emails saying, oh, we can't take no more bookings at this time. Book them.
Yeah.
But maybe the people. But Allure Media
Yeah, we
Productions,
don't know.
For sure, for real.
but all the people,
Yeah.
let all them there.
Yes.
But the massages, because I know that the teachers want to sit, they know all the time the compression, the sciatic nerve, and they need me.
All right, then, but my man, but people met these small businesses. That's what I want. I want these small businesses to get more marketing from you guys that market the other people. I want more for the small man. I want the people that got the little salons and the boutiques, sell clothes, all these people that didn't get no marketing from me. Come and help me over here, no. Support we want.
Real
That's what we
thing.
want. Everybody talking nice, they want people to think more, but that's what I want. I want to see more than I did.
Yes.
It
Let
don't
me
take
record.
nothing. It don't
It's
take
true.
nothing from none of
It's
one
true.
to
No.
repost a flyer, because when it's do it, or the one on well, we just go when it is, download it from the people Instagram and screenshot it. But we the small business people send it when it. So go
I
when it, just repost it.
It's true.
Tag around. So that's what I want.
It is true. I like Frico's final words. He's saying we can be craftsmen of our fate if we work together, have honest and real-time conversations, be honest and be accountable. So that's a real good one to
So
end.
basically he repeat what he said.
He had it before you been you thought
Yeah, but record that
for
man.
real.
He went Alexandria, so that what happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
big up
honestly
the
though,
national flag. Big up the national flag, man. Purple, yellow, and white. What is that?
Nah, I ain't big enough for talk. I big enough.
no
I big enough this here. I big enough this. You see this here? Black skin, black people.
black
Big enough.
skin. Yep, for real.
It's like
But
white black.
guys, thank you so much. I want to, as Shad said, we big up one another. You want to big up me first? Definitely go and get your massages, etc. with me
Yeah,
first.
man.
Want to big up
Boom,
Barely
boom,
Sober
boom.
Entertainment. Look out for because we be doing road again soon for sure.
Please
Definitely
let me free.
go
Free,
media.
Peter.
It's
Free,
true.
Peter. He did had a crop over now for almost 2 years now. I'm feeling it. Free me. Free me.
Hey, look here, this time now, the only crop over can be is when the kids going and get juice.
Boy,
It's hard to do.
girl, it hurt
Mhm.
It hurt me to say.
Yeah, bigger Already Media Production though. Honestly, how I'm happy as you can see right here, doing big things in Barbados. You don't listen. You want anything done? Contact Already Media Productions straight. Don't care what you want done. You want your business boosted. You want security, whatever it is. The
You
bigger
want you here do
you
anything. You want your nails paint. I love
He,
it.
he's gonna find a way for you guys. Trust me, he gonna put you on the right direction. All right, want a bigger Seabell. You're home. You can't go out and sign her napkins. You can get your menstrual cups. Don't get twisted. Best decision I ever made in my life. My bigger trading cups. I need a haircut. I hold up.
But
Now my great patch actually look like, let's say like Africa. I don't know, something. Anyways, but
after party, I keep the host.
I don't need a deeper
After party, I keep the host.
It was it.
After every episode be.
Yeah, so thanks guys for logging in up inside your podcast. Don't miss us. YouTube, Anchor, and Instagram Thursdays at 8 p.m. Thanks for the love. We love you guys so much. We can't wait to get back here next Thursday again for Up Inside Your Podcast. All right.